In this video, we're going to be looking at Venn diagrams. It's been named after a mathematician called Venn. Something very interesting is Venn was actually not the first person to find this method of drawing Venn diagrams. It was actually Euler who first started using these diagrams. So we should be really calling it Euler diagrams. But for the purpose of this video, we'll call it Venn diagrams. Okay, so we've got two circles here, B and Y. What I'm going to show you first is to show what regions of this diagram mean. So for example here, I've got B. So which part of this diagram is B? And of course, that's a very straightforward one. It's just everything in the B circle. So it's all of this bit. Everything in the B circle. Okay, so that wasn't that difficult, but we're just warming up. Now we've got B with apostrophe. And what that means is not B. So which region is that? This bit. And of course, it's the outside as well, because that's also not B. So it's everything outside the B circle. Okay, so what does this mean? We've got B with a little n sign and then Y. Now the actual name for this is B intersection Y. But I just call it B and Y. And what it means is, where is it both B and Y at the same time? We need to find a space where it's both B and Y. And of course, it's this bit in the middle. And this time we've got B and something which looks like a U sign and then Y. And the official name for this is B union Y. But we can simply say B or Y. So we're just looking for any space which is B or Y or both. So it's this bit, and also the middle. So it's everything in the circles, this one. Okay, so now we're going to look at some questions with P in it. Now, all this P means is work out the probability. So before we simply had B, now we want the probability of B. And I'll show you how to do that now. Okay, so let's do the first one, the probability of B. So which numbers belong to B? And it's the 5 and the 2. So in total, that's 7. Now, if P wasn't there, we'll simply say 7 and that will be the answer for B. But since it not only wants B, it wants the probability of B, we need to give it as a fraction. It needs to be 7 over something. And it's going to be 7 over 11 because the total we have is 11. So the probability of being B is 7 over 11. Now let's look at the next one, not B. So think about what we shaded before. Which space is not B? And you should have said the 3 and the 1, which is 4. Of course, this time it wants a probability, so we're not simply going to say 4. We're going to do 4 over the total, which is 4 over the total being 11 if you add up all the numbers, including the one outside. Now let's try the next one, B and Y. B and Y, if you remember correctly, is the intersection. It's the space where it's both B and Y at the same time. And that's that 2 there. That 2 belongs to B and it also belongs to Y. So it's B and Y. So it's going to be 2 again over the total, which is 11. And the last one is probability of B or Y. So I'll give you a moment to have a go at this one. And B or Y, if you remember correctly, is everything in the circles. It's the 5, that belongs to B or Y. The 2, that's part of B or Y. And the 3, that is also part of B or Y. So we add up all those 3 numbers, 5 plus 2 plus 3. And that gives us 10. And of course, it's 10 over the total being 11. Now we're going to look at some very difficult ones. Now, a lot of people find these ones hard, including some A-level students. But let's see how we do. So it wants not B and Y. Now, this one can hurt your brain. So I'll show you how I do it. So what I do is I go around ticking every place where it's not B. So I've ticked every place where it's not to be, the outside, and in that region, and in the Y region. And then I go and tick where it's Y. And then I go back to the question. It wants not to be and Y. It means it wants both of these at the same time. So which region was in both cases? Basically, which region is double ticked? And that's the region we're looking for. That's the answer. So if you do like this, it's not too difficult. Okay, now we've got not B or Y. So we're going to do the same tick method. Let's tick every case where it's not B. And let's tick every case where it's Y. Now let's think about the question. It said not B or Y, so it could be either. So we just shade any place which has got a tick, whether it be 1 or 2. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So we've got another tricky one here. So let's do the ticking method. So we're going to tick every place where it's B and every place where it's not Y. So the outside is not Y, and of course here it's not Y as well. Now let's go back to the question. It's got an and there, an intersection. It wants both at the same time. And what that basically means, which region is double ticked, which region was in both cases. So it wasn't too difficult. And let's try this one. We'll do that ticking method again to help us answer this one. Let's tick every region where it's got B and every region where it's not Y. That's the outside and here. Now this time it's not and, it's or. We can tick every region which has got a tick, whether it be 1 or 2. There we go, not too difficult. Now we're going to try some numeric questions on this. So let's try the first one. It wants not B and Y. So we'll do that tick method. We'll tick every place where it's not B, and tick every place which is Y. And if you go back to the question, it says and, or you can say intersection. So we're looking for the region which was in both cases, basically with a double tick. And of course it's just the 3. Now we can't simply say 3 because it's got P for probability. So it's going to be 3 over the total, which is 3 over 11. Okay, so let's try the next one. This time we have the probability of not B or Y. So let's tick every position with not B and every place where it's Y. This time it's or, so it could be either of the two. So we just simply look at every place which has got a tick, whether it be 1 or 2 ticks. So it's the outside. Outside's got a tick, so we're going to include that 1. The 3 and the 2. 3 plus 2 plus 1 gives us 6. So it's 6 over the total. 6 over 11. Okay, so if you'd like to have a go at the next two, pause the video and take 5 minutes to have a go. Okay, so let's do this together. So we're going to tick every place with B, every place with not Y, and the outside. And it's an intersection question, so it wants both. So we're just looking for the places with a double tick, and it's just simply the 5. And of course it's over the total, so 5 over 11. And the last one is B or not Y. So let's tick every place with B. Let's tick every place with not Y. And the outside. Now it's or, so it could be any position, whether it be 1 tick or 2 ticks. So it's going to be the 5, the 2, and the outside. So 5 plus 2 is 7, and the outside we're including, which is 1, which gives us 8. 8 over the total being 11. So they weren't too difficult, these ones. Okay, so let's have a look at this question. I'll give you a moment to have a read. So we need to complete the Venn diagram. And we're told that 30 people were surveyed about languages which they speak. Now, the trick with these questions is to start trying to fill in from the middle. If you try to fill in from the outside, you'll soon get very stuck. So we don't want to fill in the first figures they've given us. For example, 13 speak English. We can't really fill that in first because the English is this region here. Now, this region here has got 3 slots and 13 belongs to all of that region, but we don't know how to split that 13, so we can't fill that in. So don't try to fill those numbers in first. What you want to fill in is from the middle. And the middle, they've told us the number for the middle. How many people speak all 3 languages? It says 2 people speak all 3 languages. So you can fill that in first. And then we'll move outward slowly. We could do the next one as 2 speak English and Spanish. But I'm going to leave that one for now. I'm going to do 3 people speak both English and French. Now, where's English and French? Well, English and French is both of these regions. When it says 3 speak both English and French, it's talking about both of these regions. So if both of these regions add up to 3, then the region we don't know the answer for must be 1. So we can put a 1 here. Now you can see the English and French bit, the people who speak both, does add up to 3. The next piece of information I'm going to use is 5 speak both English and Spanish. Now, where is English and Spanish? This is English and Spanish here, both of these slots. And we know both of these slots are 5 because it says that in the question. 5 people speak both English and Spanish. Now, if both of these add up to 5, we can now fill in this bit as 3 because we've already got 2 there. And now we can go back to 2 people speak French and Spanish, but not English. So where is French and Spanish, but not English? French and Spanish, but not English is only this region. Because although it says French and Spanish, it also says not English. So we can only look at this bit. We can't go into the English section. So it is literally talking about just this bit. So the number they've given us can go straight into there. So the next piece of information I'm going to do is 13 speak English. As I showed you earlier, English is everything in the English circle. All of this is 13. Since we know all of this is 13, we can subtract the 3, 2 and the 1, which in total is 6 from that 13, leaving us with 7, and put that 7 right in there. We put that 7 right in that last bit remaining. Similarly, the next bit we'll do is 11 speak French, and it's very similar to what we just did. French is the whole French circle. So we can subtract that 2, 2 and that 1 which you already got there, which is 5 from the 11. And that leaves us with 6. And see if you can fill in the last Spanish bit. So we know 9 speak Spanish. So the whole Spanish circle should add up to 9. At the moment, we've got 3, 2, 2 there, which is 7. So we know the last slot must be 2 to make it 9. And the only thing we've got missing now is the outside. We need a number on the outside. And we know 30 people were interviewed. So we can do 30 minus every number we've got there at the moment. And I'll let you do that. And you should have got 7. So we've managed to fill in this Venn diagram. And it wasn't too bad. The trick is to try to start in the middle if you can. And there we have it. I hope you found that video useful. Support us by liking, subscribing, and share this with your friends. And if you still got some more questions on anything, drop a post on our forum at examqa.com where you'll find your questions answered.